Thanks to all of you for watching, sharing, and spending your time with us on Guide Us TV. And remember, tell everyone, stay guided. Guide Us TV, watched by many, loved by all. New Muslims, young Muslims, born Muslims, non-Muslims, all enjoy it. Guide Us TV, never ads, always free. Let's keep it free, no ads. Support and share, and get guided with Guide Us TV. Hey, you watching Guide Us TV, coming to you almost live all the way from right here in beautiful downtown wherever. Yeah, just kidding. We're still in Southern California, and we're having a great time. And tonight we've got some special guests all the way from right here in America. Let me see if I can replace the pin. There he is. There's Richard Kaifar. Salaam alaikum.
Alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. Well, we got the words right over your mouth, so if you can drop your camera down just a teeny bit, that'll be really good. MashaAllah. We've also got Sister Kim with us. Sister Kim, salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. At least I don't have to adjust my camera.
Well, yeah, if you did, though, I would be sure to tell you. I'd be the first one to tell you that. So all we need is Dr. Emily with us right now, because we do have a picture for her. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, mashallah, mashallah. And we have our phone number up here so everybody can see it. Richard, you still got a problem with that. It's still kind of, maybe you're, you know what? Maybe you're too close to the camera.
Okay.
A teeny
That's
bit
a problem.
back. Yeah. All right. And, all right. MashaAllah. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about it, meaning where did everything come from? That's a question. You know what? There are basic questions that everybody wants to know. Where did the universe come from? That's a good question. And another question people will ask, what's my purpose here in life? Do I have a purpose? And another question, is there a God? And these three questions are almost universal on the whole planet since the time of Adam. And, you know, these folks have all got their different way to answer it or bungle it up one way or another. But Richard, when was the first time that you really thought about this topic? Either one, pick one, one of the three that I mentioned, and then tell me which one that you consider.
You know, I don't really recall that I had a aha moment. It was like, you know, a long time ago, in another galaxy, when I was a young kid, life was very Christian. The community was very Christian. Everybody went to church. Everybody believed in God. And I don't even know that it was an issue. It was like, well, of course, there's a God. So I just kind of, and I wasn't raised in a religious home, but it just seemed like there was always, like everybody went to church and everybody believed, and it just always was. And nobody really, we didn't question, I didn't know about cosmological, theological, ontologicals. I didn't know any of that kind of stuff. I just kind of like, well, there's a sky and a moon and stars and a vast universe, and we're here on this planet, and God put us here.
So you didn't get into the logicals. You didn't want to mess around with the logicals, right?
No, I wasn't very logical when I was 12. Me, my best friend was my bicycle, and so I didn't know too much except to get on my bike and ride and go have a good time
Oh,
with my
you
friends.
reminded me of something I hadn't thought about in many years. I used to love to ride my bike. Just go here, go there, go everywhere, see this, see that, and ride over
Yes.
the bumps and try to outrace the slow cars. And yeah,
We
oh,
used to set up a ramp, and we'd do like some evil Knievel jumps, and that usually worked out pretty good. That was a lot of fun. Sometimes we crashed, but we didn't wear helmets or elbow or knee. We just kind of went and did crazy stuff.
yeah, I do remember all of that as well because there wasn't anything invented yet. Seatbelts weren't even a thing unless you were in an airplane or a spacecraft somewhere.
No, no, no. We didn't have seat belts. We didn't have helmets. We brought our children home from the hospital in my wife's arms. We didn't have even a car seat. Um, Things were a little different.
When I was a little kid, we used to stand up in the car right behind our dad's arm. He'd kind of put his arm out like that, and we,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It was. But the cars then were made out of steel,
Oh yeah,
and they were heavy. And if we hit something, you know, we we didn't die. We had a lot of protection. The cars were very heavy, and they got terrible gas mileage, but they were protective in many ways.
yeah.
So
We used to average about 10 miles to the gallon.
yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Well, mashallah, look who is here.
Thanks.
Mashallah. Well, let's put him up so we can introduce him properly. Here, all the way from right now in Southern California, by the way, we have none other than Muhammad. Yeah, I've used to
Ahmed
say Muhammad.
Brother
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Another form of Muhammad is Ahmed, and
Yes.
yes, Ahmed. Redwan is with us right now tonight, and we're going to be talking about some of the things, Sheikh, that we feel like that's important for people to know about, because there are basic questions that come up almost universal, almost all over the whole entire planet. Somebody will concern themselves, maybe early on in their life, but they'll look around and say, where did everything come from? Where did the universe come from? That's weird. Or another question might be, is there really a God? Is somebody's talking about God? But is there really one? And then another question that comes up is, well, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? What's my purpose? So that's kind of what we wanted to introduce. And if anybody would like to call and talk about that, definitely we've got some answers for them. And along the way, we can all benefit. We can all always get more information and grow intellectually. Right, Sheikh?
Sounds good. Sounds good. And also, I recall we promised the audience Friday, I believe we're going to be talking about Prophet Yusuf.
Chapter 12 of the Quran, right?
What is amazing, Sheikh, it's Surah number 12. And guess how many siblings and with Prophet Yaqub, also 12 children.
Yeah, Prophet Jacob. The Christians that watch us right now, they'll be familiar with Prophet Jacob. And the 12 tribes of Israel is a very familiar, the asbat of the tribes. Yeah, it's mentioned in the Quran early on in Surah Baqarah, talking about the children of Israel. Yeah.
Yes. So we have chapter number 12 for Prophet Yusuf, and he have with 12 children. And I said, wow, what a coincidence,
Yeah, well, the 12 tribes of Israel is established and well known. Probably, I'll guess, either maybe more than half of the world knows about the 12 tribes of Israel. But I think that somebody might consider, well, that the organizers of the Quran, they just stuck it in there because it's a coincidence and they wanted to. But they should know that the surahs didn't come all at one time. There were parts of surahs here and there, and then the angel Jibril, would tell Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam where to put this and where to put that. And it wasn't until after all of these things came about, then people would refer to, oh, read something to me, and they will give you an ayah or the name of an ayah. They say, read something in the Quran to me from Ayatul Kursi. Meaning,
Yes.
you give me the before, the after, around Ayatul Kursi. But there is no surah in the Quran called Ayah Kursi. Ayah just means a proof or an evidence, or another word for it for us is a verse in the
Yes.
Quran. So
I would like to share with our audience, Sheikh Yusuf, the purpose why Surah Yusuf alayhi salam was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. What was the purpose of it? And the reason it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, it was revealed in Mecca. And the reason is because he was facing major difficulties in his lifetime. His wife Khadija passed away, and his uncle Abu Talib passed away, and he was receiving hardship from the people of Mecca. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he decided to reveal the surah, and this way he calmed him down and give him hope and give him comfort that there is, after difficulties, there is ease. And when we look in the first verses in Surah Yusuf alayhi salam, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was talking to Prophet Muhammad, he was telling him, نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. We will reveal to you the best of stories, and then before that you were among the unaware. And then the story goes on. So,
yeah, if somebody would like to call in, we have the phone number right up there, right in front of you right now, Sheikh, that says call now, 1-800-971-4383. Guys, if you'd like to call in and ask questions about the questions that we talked about, or about Surah Yusuf. And this is what Surah Yusuf looks like in the Quran. Okay, that's the very beginning of it. Sheikh, tell us about the starting up of the Quran. We're looking at it. It starts out with some letters. What are those letters all about?
Oh, the letters. Okay, Alif Lam Ra. These letters, really no one knows about them. The Alif Lam Ra. تلك آيات الكتاب المبين. And these are the verses of the enlightening book. إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون. We have revealed it in the Arabic language. This way you can comprehend and understand. And what does this mean? That means the Arabic language is one of the easiest, and is the easiest for us to remember and memorize and to understand and comprehend. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ, that you may comprehend and understand. And then it goes on, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ بِمَا أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ وَإِن كُنْتَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ. And here we will reveal to you the best of the stories from the Holy Quran, and prior to that you were among the unaware. And then now the story starts. First of all, brother and sister, I would like to, before I start with the story here, I would like to let you know there is so much to learn from Surah Yusuf. If you're facing major difficulties in your lifetime, all you have to do, read Surah Yusuf and see what Prophet Yusuf from his childhood, what did he go through? How many hurdles? Was he threatened to be killed? Was he deprived to live with among his brothers and his mother and father? Did he enter jail wrongly? All this, he gone through so much. So when we see the difficulties that he went through, and then later on we found he's been elevated to the highest rank to be a prophet. After all, and then whatever problem that you have in your lifetime, you're going to say as nothing. And it will give you hope. And also will teach you in Surah Yusuf how to forgive one another. How to forgive one another. Because he forgive his brother, the one they were trying to actually kill him. So he was, and he forgave them. And he was so patient. And he did not give up when he was in jail. So if you are ready, I am ready. And we can move on with the story and we see what the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam went through. Now, right after this, now it starts, we say, إِذْ قَالَ يُوسُفُ لِأَبِيهِ يَا أَبَتِ إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحْدَ عَشْرَ كَوْكَبًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ رَأَيْتُهُمْ لِي سَاجِدِينَ. Here he's saying, Yusuf said to his father, my father, I saw in a dream 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them all prostrate in front of me. Immediately, as we should know, that prophets in general, they know how to interpret dreams. They know what it's all about and it comes through. So immediately he know that Yusuf alayhi salam is going to be elevated. He could be a prophet. He's going to be so close to God. So immediately he instructed his son, Prophet Yaqub instructed his son not to reveal this beautiful dream to anybody, or especially his brothers. Keep it to yourself. And this is what he had instructed him. Because the jealousy, it was building up among the children of Yaqub and Yusuf. They dislike him. They kind of very, very jealous of him. They don't want to play with him and so on. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he told us in the Holy Quran in numerous places, the shaitan is evil of all mankind. We have to be aware that the shaitan is around us. So now the Prophet Yaqub, his children, they decide to have a plot. And the plot, brother and sister, is to kill him, to get rid of him. This way they can have the attention, the undivided attention of their father. And then they decide, well, let us kill him and we can get rid of him once and for all. Except to one of the brother, he said, no. Let us not do that. This is not fair. This is not just. We cannot kill him. Let us take him away and put him somewhere. And then we will have all the attention we need from our father. So they went to their father and he said, Father, we would love to take Yusuf and he can play and have fun with us. And the father, he said, this is very unusual. What's wrong here? Something it doesn't fit. Every day they are jealousy, fighting, and now they in love with Yusuf and they want to take him to play. There is something fishy. And then finally they convinced their dad, and their dad gave in, and he said, okay, take him and play, but be careful with Yusuf because he loved him so much. So brother and sister, they went, and then they actually did not play with him. They left him in a water well alone by himself. And they went home toward the Isha time. And then they told their dad, coming in, crying and moaning and saying, hey, Dad, we were racing with one another and playing around, and we left him, and the wolf ate him up. Father was really shocked. And let me share with you the verse from the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us from Quran Kareem, قالوا يا أبانا إنا ذهبنا نستبق وتركنا يوسف عند متاعنا فأكله الذئب وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين. What does this mean, brother and sister? They said, hey, Father, we went racing with one another and left Yusuf with our belongings, and the wolf ate him up, and you will never believe us even if we were saying the truth. In other words, they are lying. So I don't know why they said that, but here it's a red flag that you're not saying the truth. And then they handed their father a bloody shirt. And the bloody shirt, the dad examined it. There is no tears, there is nothing on it, but it's some blood in there. So, and then the father, he was very, very upset. So if we stop here, brother and sister, again, what I told you in the beginning, that we need to learn from the stories. What we should learn in here, if we stop right here, we should learn to do justice among our children, to love them equally. And also, in case there is a dispute among our children, do not sweep it under the rug and leave it to grow and gets bigger and bigger. No, we need to clean it up right away and make peace between our children. Do not leave them to sleep at night and there's hatred and anger among themselves. These stories, brother and sister, in the Holy Quran for us to learn and apply in our lifetime. And if you buy something expensive to one of the children, you have to buy something similar to the other ones, okay? And do not also side with one another knowing the truth. And do not differentiate between male and female. You like the male first more than the female or the opposite. This is the things, brother and sister, that we should learn. This way we do not develop any jealousy among our children. As again I said before, is we need to do justice, and we learn from this. So now if we go back to our story, now here is Yusuf alayhi salam was left in the water well. A caravan was passing through. And they heard the noise, and they put their bucket to get water for their cows and the water to drink and so on. And they pulled the bucket out, and they discover inside the bucket a child, Yusuf alayhi salam. And they were very surprised and shocked. And then right after this, they said, hey, let us take him to Egypt, and we're going to sell him the product, because like a merchandise, no value. And who bought him? The king of Egypt. And then Quran al-Karim, he tells us here, وَقَالَ الَّذِي اشْتَرَاهُ مِن مِصْرَ لِامْرَأَتِهِ أَكْرِمِي مَثْوَاهُ عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعَنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا. What does this mean? And the one who bought him in Egypt, the king, he told his wife, take good care of him. He may benefit us, or we may adopt him as a child. So here they decide to keep the child and take care of him. He grew up in the king's house, and he became very, very strong man, and be very, very attractive. The Prophet Yusuf was so beautiful, like when you look at his face, you don't want to look anywhere else. He looked very, very attractive. And he grew up and he became an adult. And what happened here, the king's wife, she had very, very interest in Yusuf. She wanted to commit a fahisha, sin with him, and to entice him into a personal relationship. And she closed the doors, and she started running after him. And then immediately he does not want to get involved in this, because he believes in Allah, and he does not want to upset Allah in any way. So what he did, he raised his hand and asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what did he say? قال رب السجن أحب إلي أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه وإلا تصرف عني كيدهن أصب إليهن وأكن من الجاهلين. He said, "Oh my Lord, the present is preferable to me than what they are inviting me to do. Unless you turn me away of their plot from them, I will feel inclined toward them." So he asked that dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded and accepted his dua, and he kept him away from this lady, and he unfortunately he was present. He was put in jail, brother and sister, wrongly. And even despite the husband, he knows what is going on. He have a feeling, but he sided his wife, unfortunately. So and he did not do justice, knowingly the truth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us في سورة النساء إن الله يأمركم أن تؤدوا الأمانات إلى أهلها وإذا حكمتم بين الناس أن تحكموا بالعدل. Allah commanded from us that you render back the trust that is due to others. And when you judge between people, you must do justly. So this man, the king, he did not do that. So he entered jail, and guess what happened? He met two people there. And when he met two people there in the jail, both of them, they had a dream. And he told him, "You look like you are a very nice man. You don't look like you are belong to jail in here. And we have a couple dreams. Can you interpret these dreams for us?" He told them, "Sure." And in fact, he interpreted the dreams. And that made sense to them. And one of them was released from jail with his interpretation of the dream. And they left. One person left, and Yusuf alayhi salam, he remained in jail. And then later on, a few times passes, and who have a dream? The king of Egypt. He had a dream. But brother and sister, first, I would like to pause here and say, what did we learn here so far? And look at what Prophet Yusuf had gone through so far. He got killed by his own brothers. Then he was thrown and abandoned in the water well, sold as a merchandise with very little amount of money, could be 5 or 6 dirhams. He has been deprived of being raised among his brother and father and family, wrongfully accused, and that he attacked the king's wife, and then also falsely imprisoned. So he gone through so much, brother and sister, through his lifetime. But the thing is, he never lost faith in Allah. He entered the jail, and he's still saying to worship only one God. So look at how strong his belief in one God, to believe in one God. So let's go continue here. The king, he had a dream. And the dream he had, it really bothered him a great deal. And he went to his staff asking them about this dream. And they told him, "We really cannot interpret dreams, and we do not know what to tell you. I know you're very scared of it, but there's one person in jail. I remember that he interpreted dreams for us when we were in jail, and I believe he will give us the answer." So this person, the one he was in jail with Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he went there, and then he asked Prophet Yusuf, he told him, "Salaam alaikum, my friend Yusuf." And he told him, the king had a dream. Can you interpret that dream?
And while we're waiting for that interpretation, we got to take a break right now, guys. So sit back, relax, and be sure to share this with others, because I want to know what was the interpretation of that dream. I know you do. So share this, let everybody know, and we'll be right back right after this. So stay tuned and stay guided with Guidance TV. Can you imagine? It's our 10th anniversary. Guide Us TV on the air for 10 years already. Wow. And we want to keep going and growing. And how you can do that? Join us. Be part of what we are doing with Recite on TV, Bridge to Faith, Simple Reminders with Abu Hafsa, all of these great programs and more coming to you 24 hours a day. No commercials, no advertising. Just pure Islam with Quran every hour, with reminders throughout the day what the Hadith teaches. These programs are the only collection coming to us here in America from America, and you can be part of it. Guide US TV. Keep it on. Keep it going. Keep it growing. Stay guided with Guide Us TV. Can you imagine? All right, guys, we are back, and we've been listening to a very important part of the Quran. It's all important, isn't it? But this story that we're hearing about the Prophet Joseph. Now, what's interesting is that this is the same similar story, very similar, is in the very first of the Bible, in the book of Genesis. Yeah. And so the Jews, they know full well who is Yusuf, and they call their children Yusuf as well. It's only when you go to European languages that we mess around with the way you pronounce a J. Yaqub, Jacob, Yusuf, Joseph, like that. So anyway, we're hearing so much about this, and then also in the Quran we find this similar beautiful story, chapter 12, and we've been hearing this from our beloved Sheikh here with us right now, and he gives the Jummah khutbah. You need to follow him on Facebook. You're Sheikh. You're also on YouTube, I think. Is that right, Sheikh?
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube. You could hear that I had, alhamdulillah, last khutbah last Friday. I was in Beaumont. And I delivered the khutbah there, alhamdulillah, and it was all about Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salam. And I wonder, Brother Richard, have you read the story in the Bible about Prophet Yusuf? Have you heard about it? Is it similar to what's in the Holy Quran? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
It's identical. I've got my Bible open to Genesis 37, 38, 39, and I'm listening to your story of what the Quran says, and they're identical as to the faithfulness of Yusuf and to the faithfulness of Allah and His plan. That even though it looked a little rough at times, the faithfulness of Allah watching over His servant. And the only difference is the Bible every once in a while twists things a little, almost R-rated. And so it's nice that the Quran, that we leave that stuff out.
Yes, well, there's something else that I think maybe I should mention about this. The difference between the Quran and the Bible. The Quran, I spent 2 years, my first 2 years in Islam, comparing the translations of the Bible and the translations of the Quran. And I've noticed something, and I finally had to make peace with this, that the Bible and the Quran are 100% together, except where the Bible argues with itself. Except where the Bible contradicts itself, argues with itself, then they're not in agreement there. But everything else, and this is a proof that chapter 12 of the Quran is almost in the middle of the Quran. And when you go to that, you're struck by the story, as you were saying. But there is something else, and I would like to add this, that many times we find in the Quran and in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ a clarification of explaining why something is going on and what is the lesson that I get out of that. And by the way, the story of Samson and Delilah is never mentioned anywhere in the history of the Quran or the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I don't know where that came from. Do you?
No. I mean, just so many times the stories that we teach of children out of the Old Testament, they're not suited for children.
How many pages? How many pages can you read in the Bible and never even hear about God at all?
Yeah. Yes.
The entire book of Samson and Delilah does not mention God once. How many pages?
Yeah.
Page after page after page. All the pages of the Quran at least have Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but sometimes you will have in 15 lines of Quran, you will find about 30 or 35 times the mention of Allah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It calls itself the clarifying book.
Yes,
you're
right. You're right. Hey, let's go back to the story. I want to hear what's going on next.
All right. Okay. So now, when he went to jail, this person, and asked Prophet Yusuf about the dream. And now let us see the interpretation of Prophet Yusuf about the dream of the king had. So the interpretation goes like this: you will have 7 years of good crop, and then you will have 7 years of drought. And then you must save as much as you can from this crop, from the 7 good years, in order to last in the 7 years of the drought. And then this man, he took the same message from Prophet Yusuf from jail, and he went and he told the king. The king heard it, and it really made sense to him. And he said, wow, I want to meet this person, Yusuf. Please bring him out to jail and have him come to my kingdom. And then he went to jail, and he told him the king wants to meet you. And he said, this is a golden opportunity for me to clear my name. I'm not guilty. I did not attack her. I did not do this. And then we need to open that subject. Sure enough, brother and sister, Yusuf went back to the king, and they talked about it. And the lady, his wife, the king's wife, admitted and stated, yes, I was in the wrong. He was not the attacker, and I was attacking him, and he's clear, and she cleared his name. So what we learn from here, brother and sister, if you've been treated wrongly, or if you've been accused of anything, one day the truth will pop to the surface, to the top, and your name will be cleared. If you are in jail or been accused of anything, be patient. Learn to be patient, and your name will be cleared one day, inshallah, and you will get what you deserve. This is what we should learn from this. Now, because the king and Yusuf become good friends, and he put a lot of trust in him. And then Prophet Yusuf, he told him, you could trust me on khaza'in al-ard. Let me share that from the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قال اجعلني على خزائن الأرض إني حفيظ عليم. This is chapter 55 from Surah Yusuf, chapter 12. Okay, Yusuf said, appoint me over the storehouses of the land, not just Egypt, of the whole land. And I will guard them, and I have a full knowledge, and I can be trusted. So now here, Prophet Yusuf, for a person was thrown in a well and almost got killed. Now he in the top, and he's the minister of the land. He's have full control. Now that drought, brother and sister, start coming along, and they start seeing the dream is really coming through as he interpreted. And guess what happened? Now, the 10 brother of Prophet Yusuf, they had to go to Egypt and to get their ration, their food, their dry food. This way they can live on because the drought is start taking place. And now they went to Egypt, and then as soon as they walked in, Prophet Yusuf, he immediately recognized them, and he knows that they are his brothers. But they have no clue because they left him a little boy, and they were not aware this is Yusuf alayhi salam. And then he told them, how many in your family? They said, we are 11. So where is the 11th brother? He must be here in order to get his ration, his part of the food. And then he said, I will give you this, but you have to go back and bring your brother, the 11th brother, and bring him back to us. So here they went back to their father, and they went back to their father, and they told him that we got a little bit of food, but for our brother, the 11th brother, which is his name is
Benjamin.
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 Benjamin. Thank you, Sheikh. And they told their father, Benjamin have to come with us because we did not get all our ration, and we need him to come with us back to Egypt. And he told them, how could I trust you with this? And then they opened their bags, and they found out there is extra food in there. And they said, this food does not belong to us. They put extra. So we need to return it, and we take with us Benjamin, and then we'll bring Benjamin's food or his ration, and we all come back. The father, he told him, I cannot trust you. I trusted you with Yusuf, and here you tell me what happened to Yusuf, and now you want me to trust you with his brother? And he said, no, I cannot do that. And again, they back and forth, and then finally he told them, you have to swear with God's name that you're going to bring Benjamin safe back to me. And they agreed, and he told them, when you go back, and do not all of you walk in from one door. Walk in from a separate doors. Why? We need to learn, brother and sister. Why did he tell them, do not walk off from one door, walk from separate door? Because of the hasad.
You know what? That's a very good question, because I've heard that the Prophet ﷺ used to do things a little different too. He wouldn't like go the same way and come back the same way. Like when he would go for Eid, he would go one way, but then he would come back another way. Is there any connection between that?
No, no, not really. But the reason Prophet Yaqub instructed his children not to go all from one door, because they are big group, and he afraid from the evil eye that, wow, 11 brothers, and maybe somebody hit them with an evil eye, and something happened to them. And this is the main reason he wanted them to be divided when they are entering to the building. And we should learn from this, brother and sister, is to say, when we see something beautiful or something strong or something very attractive, what we're supposed to say, we're not supposed to say, wow. No, we're supposed to say, MashaAllah.
That's a bad habit. I have a bad habit. I say, wow. And then the brothers will correct me. They'll say MashaAllah, Sheikh, say MashaAllah. And I'll go, oh, sorry. But you know what? That is very interesting that you brought this up, because that is something that is in the Bible, in the Ten Commandments, about envy or hasid. Hasid meaning envy, or what's another word for this?
the envy,
Covet.
the hasad, evil eye.
You covet something.
Well, we're not supposed to want something like that and say, I wish that I had that, and he had a feather, and then we'd both be tickled. We're not supposed to do things like that.
Exactly.
That kind of envy or competitiveness is disapproved by Islam. However, to do good things, this is something that is encouraged, actually, to be
Yes.
fastabiqul khairat, be in a race like all together for the good things, right?
Yeah. Sister Kim, with us still?
Yes, I am. I'm listening.
Yeah, tell us, what do you think of what we're saying so far? We'd love to hear your voice.
One thing that I always loved was somebody pointed out that when Yusuf gave the interpretation of the dream to the two people in jail, he made sure to also educate them on Allah first. He told them about Allah before he gave them the interpretation of the dream. And I always thought that was a wonderful way to spread the message and to ensure that the people that you're speaking to know that all answers are from Allah. And I just thought that was great. That's one of my favorite parts of the Surah.
Yes. I'm glad. You are aware of that. Is that when he entered jail, he was preaching and he's saying to worship one God, and he did not lose any faith, and that was his main thing. Is to preach in jail while he's there, and he did not lose any faith. Alhamdulillah. So also, I would like to remind the brother and sister, when you I see sometimes people, they have a very nice meal, a lot of lamb, food, and bread, and this, and they take a picture and they post it on the internet. Fear of the evil eye, brothers. Because there is other people, they cannot find a piece of bread to eat it. And then when you take a huge lamb and you are sitting there by yourself, and we see it on the internet all the time, and then you are eating and you take a couple pieces and you throw the rest of away, you're going to get hit with the evil eye. Or you have bought a brand new car, so you have, and then they show it on the internet, post on the internet right away on Facebook. No, my suggestion, do not do that unless the people that you can trust. This way you do not get hit with the evil eye. So now, brother and sister, now the 11 children, they went to get the ration, and immediately Prophet Yusuf Alayhi Salaam, he know his brother Benjamin, and they got to know one another. And Prophet Yusuf, he said he's going to do a plot. Since they did a plot for me, I'm going to do something to bring the whole family together. And what he did is he stashed a gold mug belonged to the king at one of the bag which is belonged to Benjamin. And then after they finished packing everything and their ration, and then one of the people there working with the Prophet Yusuf, he said, we are missing the golden mug belonged to the king. Where is it? And somebody took it. And then the Prophet Yusuf, he told them, who took the gold mug? And then they responded, and I will reveal this from the Holy Quran here, or share it from the Holy Quran. قالوا تالله لقد علمتم ما جئنا لنفسد في الأرض وما كنا سارقين. We did not come here to do evil on land, or we did not come here to steal. We're not thieves. You're accusing us that we took the gold mug. We didn't take the gold mug. Check our bags. And then sure enough, they start checking their bags, and he knew, of course, it's in Benjamin's bag. He lifted at last. And then they start looking, and they saying, there is nothing here. I said, okay, let me see this last bag. And they got the golden mug out of Benjamin. And now he said, now, Benjamin, we have to put him in jail. He's not going to go home with you guys. and he have to stay. Now they are in deep trouble because they promised their dad that Benjamin, we're going to take good care of him, and he's coming back with us. And they saying, you look like you are a very nice man, and you're talking to Prophet Yusuf now, and you look very nice man. Could you take another person instead of Benjamin? Because we promised our dad that he's coming back with us. Brother Richard, do you recall this in the Bible, or is it a little bit different?
It doesn't have the details.
Yep, no, we're right. This is really wonderful. I'm sitting here just soaking this wonderful story up as our brother is relating that and understanding of the faithfulness of Allah. And I could sit and listen to this all night.
So now, and then they asked him to trade, and he told them, no, I'm not going to take a not guilty person and release the guilty person out. No, we have to keep Benjamin here, and he have to stay with me. And then they were really very upset. How are they going to deal with this? And now their older brother, he said, well, I cannot go with you guys because I cannot face my dad. So now we have Benjamin and Yusuf, alayhi salam, and their older brother. Now they staying, and the rest of the group, they went back to their dad. And they told their dad, Dad, our brother, we were told, Benjamin, that he stole the gold mug. But we really did not see anything, but we were told this, but there is nothing to really support that except we found it in his luggage. Now the father started crying, upset and angry. How could this happen? And he lost his eyesight. He cannot see anymore because his eyes became very white and he could not see anymore. And now he told them, no, you guys have to go back and ask the minister to release him and to come back. And also, while you're there, look for Yusuf. Look at that. He said, look for Yusuf. And they said, okay. And then they went back and begging and asking Yusuf alayhi salam. What we learn, brother and sister, here, there's a lesson. Every part, there is a lesson. What is the lesson here? Look at what they were trying to do before is try to kill Yusuf. They think we do not need him. He's nothing. He have no value. And now what you do not need today, you might need tomorrow. So we should learn, brother and sister, is to be good to everyone. Do not mock anybody. Do not underestimate anyone. Love everyone around you. Because what you do not need today, you might need tomorrow. Because his brothers, his brothers, the 10 brothers, the 9 brothers, they had no clue that they might need Yusuf and begging Yusuf and asking him for mercy and asking him for food. They never came to their mind until now. Now they went back and they asked Yusuf for mercy and stuff like that. And now Yusuf alayhi salam, he responded and he said the following from the Holy Quran. قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف وأخيه إذ أنتم جاهلون. Whoa, what does this mean? Yusuf said, do you know what you have done to Yusuf and his brother in your ignorance? And it was a shock for them. How did he know about Yusuf? I thought it was hush, hush, hush. No one knows anything about it. Maybe this is Yusuf. And listen what the Quran said. قالوا أئنك لأنت يوسف قال أنا يوسف وهذا أخي قد من الله علينا ما شاء الله. The respond, Yusuf said, he said, are you Yusuf? yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother, and Allah has been so gracious to us. Now it opened up. Now they know this is their brother Yusuf, and this is Benjamin, his brother, and now everybody knows each other. Now here, brother and sister, very, very, very important section. So see now, Yusuf alayhi salam, now he is the law of the land. He is the law of the land. He is the power right now. He can put them all in jail. He can execute them all, but because he's believing Allah, he forgive them. And listen, what does the Quran say? This is the most important part of the whole entire story in Surah Yusuf. قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. I'm going to repeat it because it's so beautiful. And we're going to translate it, inshallah. قال لا تثريب عليكم اليوم يغفر الله لكم وهو أرحم الراحمين. Yusuf said, there is no discussion or blame on you today. There is no discussion or blame on you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful and the most kind. And here it is. Look at
MashaAllah, Sheikh. This is. I'm glad you had time to get this out before we had to end our program. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if you would like to read that English translation again. I want to put it up on the screen, let everybody see that while you're saying it.
Yusuf alayhi salam, after all he said, there is no discussion or blame on you today. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Sheikh.
Yusuf, wallahi,
we
brother,
have to wrap it up because we've got to roll out of here. Yeah. As soon as we hear the bell, they signal me with a call to a special phone that we have. And as soon as they do, we're going to have to wrap it up. So I don't want us to be in the middle of something and cut it off. So we can count on you, maybe, inshallah, next week, next Sunday, maybe you can.
Inshallah. And I would like to close the story with the beautiful end. Remember when we started?
60 seconds.
Okay, we started with the dream. The dream came through in the end, and Prophet and his mother and father and the 11 children, they actually went to Egypt and they visited Yusuf and lived with him, and they all prostrated out of love, not out of worshiping. Out of love and respect, they bowed on the ground. Remember the dream that Yusuf alayhi salam had? وَإِذْ قَالَ يُوسُفُ لِأَبِيهِ إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشَرًا.
It's also in the Bible. This part is in the Bible. MashaAllah. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes, and this is they prostrated out of love, out of respect, not out of worshiping. Okay?
All right, and that's our call. We've got to wrap it up right now. MashaAllah. Guys, on Talk About It next week, we're going to be asking Sheikh Ahmed Redwan to come back and give us more from the Quran and more of this story, because it's not over. It is not over, but there's a lot more coming, and we want to get that as well. Thank you so much for all of you tonight. I'd like to thank Richard for helping us out with this, and Sister Kim, MashaAllah. Thank you, Sister. And everybody together will all say it. Stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
Can you imagine? It's our 10th anniversary. Guide Us TV on the air for 10 years already. Wow. And we want to keep going and growing. And how you can do that? Join us.
The command of the prodigal, who spread corruption in the earth and reform not. They said,